We have something so exciting coming up. I'm so excited to share this video with you. We have something that's very, very unique, and as you learn about the Sabbaths, you'll see that the Sabbaths relate to the number 7 and the number 50. And we have something coming up that's just so exciting. So you have the 50th day appearing in the 50th week in the 50th year. So you have these convergence of 50s taking place, and this takes place on the feast of Pentecost. Penta meaning 50. So this is so exciting. This is coming up next week. And we want to show you some things here about the different things that God has given us to show you how to measure this time and to show you its significance. So there's probably some things, if you followed this channel, if you followed the different patterns and things like I'm showing you here, this is recap on that, but it's also some other new information as well. So what we're going to do is, this is a pattern that measures a week. Okay? So at the time of this video, this section right here is the 3rd day of the week. So this is the 2nd day here, and this is the 1st day. So you can see the day, in the Hebrew day, the day starts when the sun goes down. So the black portion here is nighttime, and the light portion is daylight. So those of you that have this pattern, I just added this recently because it helps us, kind of helps you go through as it goes around to see what day you're in. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and then this is the Sabbath here. Okay? But it also measures the months. Now the hour hand doesn't measure the months. It's not an hour hand, it's actually going, this hand goes around once in a week. But this inner circle are the months of the year, and then the relationship to the weeks of the year. Okay? So what happens is we're in the 3rd month, Sivan, and then within the 3rd month, you have 50. So the 50 is right here. Okay? So what you do, and I'll show you the calendar to better depict this. So that's where we're coming up. We're coming up to the 50th week. So these are the weeks around the year. Okay? So this pattern, it measures the days, and we labor to enter into rest, and that's the 7th day. But there's other patterns of 50. So then what God does is He has patterns of 7, and then the patterns of 7 add up to patterns of 50. Okay, so for the feast of Pentecost, you count 50 days from first fruits to reach Pentecost. 50 days. So we know that there are 7 days in a week, but He actually has a span of time of 7 weeks. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 1 brings you 50, and the 50th day falls on the 50th week, and it's a Jubilee year, so it's falling on the 50th year, guys. Wow. You getting all this? Guys, I know you don't understand everything I'm saying, so pause it. If you're confused now, it's only 3 minutes in. You're going to be confused for the rest of it. So pause it, go back over it, and listen to what I said again, okay? But I got to keep moving on. So here we have the this alignment taking place where we have the 50th day, 50th week, 50th year. Now what I'm going to do is, this is a pattern and a clock. If anyone's interested in this, what I can do is I can send this to you, and what you do is you just put it on something, and you get a week hand, and you just put that in the center, and then you can make a little clock. This just has beadboard in the background. So this is behind me in all the videos. So I wanted to show you that. I want to show you this part I just added recently, just to show that. Okay? So what's going to happen? We're going to come around, and then next week, so we're going to have the Sabbath. After the Sabbath, the first day of the week next year begins the 50th week. Okay? So that would be, I forget, I have to go over here. So if we go over here, guys. Sorry, I'm moving my tripod thing. Okay? Now this is what, let me get this, let me see if I can get this right here. Bear with me. I paused it. Stay. All right, good. Okay. Now, Now let's talk about this. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the Enoch calendar, guys, and this is where the Enoch calendar shows us the patterns of Sabbath. Now, the Gregorian calendar doesn't show you, the Hebrew calendar doesn't show you this. The Enoch calendar shows you this. Okay, so what you have here, and then if you're not familiar with this, I have other videos that go into the detail, but here is the first month. Here's the second month, here's the third month. Now, we are right here, okay? So we just had the new moon yesterday. We're right here. This is the third day of the third month. Now, this is the Enoch calendar that I'm showing you guys. So the Hebrew calendar, this is the first day of the month. It starts on the new moon. But both the Hebrew calendar and the Enoch calendar measure Sabbaths on the Feast of First Fruits, which is here. Because what you have is the Sabbath, and the next day is First Fruits. Then what you do is you count from First Fruits 50 days. That comes right here. 50 days. It's called counting the Omer. All right? So because First Fruits falls the day after the Sabbath, the Hebrew calendar and the Enoch calendar measure the same thing after First Fruits to the Feast of Weeks. All right? But the Enoch calendar shows you that this whole section of time, guys, from Passover to the Feast of Weeks is a cycle of 7. And so what you have is the weeks that you count. You can see these are weeks. So these are Sabbaths. So Sabbath 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next day is the 50th week. So there are 50 weeks in the year. You say, no, they're not. There's 52. Well, what you do is the Jews had to appear in Jerusalem on unleavened bread, Feast of Weeks, and Tabernacles. So this is months 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4, 5, 6. Okay, but what you do is when you count the weeks, you don't count the weeks that the men had to appear in Jerusalem. So if you don't count those, then what you see is there are patterns. And so what you have is this Sabbath just before Passover, all the way to here is a pattern of 7 weeks. And so then what happens is that's number 7. After Feast of Weeks, this is 50. The next Sabbath begins the first of the cycle. Okay, so this is the first, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth, fifth, sixth, and then 7th. Okay, so there's a cycle within a cycle, and there's a cycle of 7. So this whole time from Passover to Feast of Weeks is a Sabbath. It's a cycle of 7. It's a rest. That's why God has these feasts here, because they bookend, they go on either side of a pattern of weeks, or 7 or 50 in this case. All right? Now, I'm sorry if this doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't have time to go into all the descriptions. I have other videos on this, so look at the other videos. If you want these, I can give you these. But let's move on. So what you have is this week, the Feast of Weeks, or Pentecost, is the 50th week. And this day right here, the 8th day of the third month, the first day of the week, is the 50th day. And we know from Isaac Newton's interpretation and the other aspects that we've gone over before of the Jubilee year, that 2015 is a Jubilee year because of Daniel's 70th week. Okay, and we have other stuff on that. So we know that 2015 is a Jubilee year. Well, what's a Jubilee year? It's the 50th year in a cycle. All right? Now, the year starts, guys, in the first month. The first month is Nisan. Okay? So, let's go over the Jubilee real quick. All right? So, the first month is Nisan. Now, the Jubilee in the Shemitah starts as a cycle in the 7th month. That's right here. So that's on the Day of Atonement. And that's what we have coming up. All right? But the year, when you number the year, as you number the months, the first month is Nisan. All right? So this whole, when the year starts, that's the first month. So this whole pattern is the year. So the year is a is a year of Jubilee. Now, the Jubilee is recognized in the 7th month, but the whole month begins in the 1st month. Okay, so that's here. So what I'm getting at is the Jubilee, we are in the Jubilee, and the Jubilee year is numbered in the 1st month, but it's recognized and the cycle starts in the 7th month. So it's like our taxes. So you have a cycle of your taxes that takes place on April 15th. Okay, so think of the Jubilee, the Shemitahs, as a financial cycle that starts in the 7th month. All right, and that cycle goes from the 7th month to the next year. Okay, but when you actually number the year and you say, okay, well, the year starts in the 1st month, 2015. So that's what I'm saying, guys. You have the 50th day right here. You count from first fruits, 50. In the 50th week, Feast of Weeks is the 50th week throughout the year. And it's in a Jubilee, which is the 50th year. And this is all going to converge on this day right here. Feast of Weeks. The next day, the 3rd month, and the 9th day is the 1335th day from the constellation Virgo in the year 2011. So that's also a significant day. That's why we're meeting on that day. Okay? So I'm hoping you guys can see how exciting this is. This is amazing. And you can see that I've gone through all this effort to build this Enoch calendar and to show it clearly, because no other calendar does this. The Hebrew calendar does not recognize this pattern of 7s throughout the year. Okay? So let me go back over and look at this clock here that we have before. All right. There we go. And let me move that, a little bit of glare. It's still there. Whatever. All right, let's try that. Okay. So, so here, guys, again, when we go through, and these are the weeks of the year, and these are the months, this is where you can see the pattern of 50. And again, like we looked at before, you don't count unleavened bread because the men had to appear in Jerusalem. You don't count tabernacles because the men are, but other than that, you remove those 2 weeks and then you have 50 weeks. So you have 50 weeks, and then here you can see the weeks of the year and how they relate to the months of the year. All right? So this pattern also does measure the Jubilee, and we have the other video on that. Okay, so then what you would also have is these are years. So you get the 1st year, and then you go to the 50th year. All right, so this is coming up next week. So praise God. So he that has ears to hear, let him hear. He who has eyes to see, let him see. The things I'm showing you are mysteries. And so the people that know the times and they know the seasons, they know that something big is going to happen. I'm not saying that this is the rapture or anything. I'm just saying that this is a very significant time, guys. Very, very significant. This whole week, we don't know the day or the hour. I'm not talking about the Lord's coming in the clouds. But what you do is the 1335th day, it says, blessed is he that waits for that day. So that day is coming up next week. The day before that day is the 50th day in the 50th week of the 50th year. So this is huge. This is just huge, huge, huge. Now as to what it means, most people won't really know. But it's huge, guys. It's significant. So that's what I want to share on the 50th day in the 50th year. 50th day in the 50th week of the 50th year. You got that? All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Anyone else that's watching this and is interested in these diagrams. There's another one I'll mention before I kind of sign off here. And that is this one measures the Jubilee years and the Jubilee cycle. Okay, I'm going to stay up there. Okay, good. And this is and what we've done here is you have the same pattern before between 1 and 50, and now we're applying the years. So this would work in patterns of 50. So every 15th and 65th of every century would be a Jubilee. All right? And also what we're saying here, guys, is that, you know, the Isaac Newton interpretation shows us clearly that from the time you rebuilt Jerusalem would be a Jubilee year. So even if you don't agree with these, that's fine. You don't have to. But Isaac Newton's interpretation would show us the Jubilee year. So for example, here, this is the Jubilee cycle of 50 years, and then the next 50 years would lead up to 2015. Okay? So this would be, it would start, the first year of the cycle would start in 1966, and then it would go around to the year 2015. Okay? So the Jubilee would go in cycles of 50 every twice in every century. Okay, so here you can see that cycle as it goes around. Counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So then we are in the Laodicean cycle, the last cycle of the church cycle in the year 2015. Okay, so I know that's a lot of information, but I have a lot of other videos that talk about the same thing. And again, we can see here that you have 7 weeks, and then you have 50, which is the Feast of Weeks. Then you have a cycle of 7 years, or the Shemitah, and then you have the 50 or Jubilee. So these are all consistent cycles of 7 and 50. So Jubilee is 7 times 7 is 49 plus 1 and 50. So that's what you would have when you count the Omer. You count 50 days. Pentecost is 50, and that is the 50th week. And then the Jubilee is 50, and that is the 50th year. So all these are converging. On our calendar, that would be May 24th, 2015 is that day. Okay? All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. God bless, and we'll have some more stuff soon.